So one of the biggest questions I get from clients is, can I drink alcohol and still lose weight? Can you drink some wine and still get progress? Well, the answer to this question is not exactly simple. My name is Aleksa, I'm the Climate Dietitian. Today I'm going to explain exactly what you need to know when it comes to alcohol and when it comes to nutrition, so that not only can you enjoy a drink here or there, but you can still get results, okay? So you can still progress towards your goals. So let's go into it, let's explain what I mean here, and yeah, hope you enjoy. So alcohol is what I like to call the fourth macro. Now the reason I'm saying, quotation marks is because it's not really a macro. Alcohol is not a macronutrient. In fact, it's not a nutrient at all. But the reason I say it's a fourth macro is because it still contributes such a big, amount of your calories to your diet if you drink it on a regular basis. So therefore, for the purposes of nutrition, for the purposes of flexible dieting, you need to consider alcohol as part of the macros because you need to still count it and you still need to track it. It's as simple as that. So how much calories are there in alcohol? Well, it's simple, okay? There's 7 calories per gram of alcohol. That's, higher than carbs and protein. That's a bit lower than fats, but you can still see it's quite an energy dense kind of, substance, okay? And in fact, what it is, it's a toxin, okay? Alcohol is a toxin. Now this will come in more important later on in this video when I explain more about how this can actually impact you. But keep in mind that alcohol is not really a nutrient. We consider it a macronutrient, a fourth macro, just because you need to track it because of the fact that it contributes 7 calories per gram of alcohol. Okay, it's an energy dense substance. You need to track it because it can influence your results. Now the big issue comes is that alcohol is usually consumed on top of a normal diet. You're not finding people that are consuming alcohol and then kind of cutting back their diet in other areas. And even if they were, that's probably not the best way to do it because you don't want to be missing out on potential good nutrition for just the sake of being able to drink a few drinks here or there. Obviously there is a balance here and there is some moderation. I will go into that today. But keep in mind that you don't want to be relying on cutting too much food to compensate for alcohol. But you also got to be aware that alcohol usually contributes a lot more calories on top of your normal daily intake. And that's when the issue lies. That's where you can get into an energy surplus and that will prevent any weight loss from happening. Okay, so now that you understand that alcohol is not only a problem when it comes to weight loss because of the potential calories it contributes and the fact that it's highly palatable, let's now talk about how it actually affects the metabolism of other foods in your diet. So you remember I noted earlier about how alcohol is a toxin and how that will be important later on? Well, here we go, okay? Alcohol is a toxin. It's as simple as that. Your body wants to get rid of it. When you drink it, your body is not having a good time. As much as you might be, the body's not. So what the body does is it tries to get rid of the toxin as a priority, okay? That's what it does. It's a priority for the body. Now, what happens now, especially if you've eaten like a large meal or been eating during the day, any calories from foods, proteins, carbs, fats, those things are not then a priority once toxins come into play. The body goes, okay, wait. Let's get rid of these toxins first and let's leave the other stuff, on the back burner, so to speak. And what happens then is that you're not as efficient at using up the calories from your actual macronutrients, from protein, carbs, and fats. And what that can cause is a problem with the metabolism in your body. There's a potential there for your body to not be as efficient in, storing and using and digesting different components of your diet. In turn, if you are in an energy surplus as a result of the alcohol, because remember, calories in, calories out dictates no matter what, your body then becomes into more of a fat storage machine, so to speak. It's very simplified, way of trying to say it, but essentially your body becomes more efficient at storing the fat from the calories that you were consuming from food because it's prioritizing the removal of the toxins, so the other stuff is not really being processed properly. So therefore, what this leads to is a potential more belly fat, gain. So your body tends to store more belly fat more efficiently, and it'll just make it a bit more harder for you to be able to lose weight. It's as simple as that. Now, like I said, obviously this is a very simplistic explanation, and the rules of calories in, calories out still dictates. But keep in mind this: alcohol does decrease the efficiency that your body actually uses the calories from your food, and therefore that does make it harder for you to lose weight, especially if you're a heavy drinker, especially if you binge drink, and especially if it's something that's being done frequently on top of your normal caloric intake and you're not in an energy deficit. Okay, so there you go. That's how alcohol affects your metabolism in the body. That's how alcohol impacts you yourself. So now let's actually answer the question that you've been coming here for. Can you drink and still lose weight? Okay, and I know you want that answer. Okay, you know you want that question answered. It's something that a lot of people ask, and it's what a lot of people wonder, because from a simple fact is a lot of people like to drink alcohol, but a lot of people also like to lose weight. So can you do both? Well, here's your answer. So the simple short answer is yes, you can. And the long answer is yes. If you are effectively managing your calories, you're in an energy deficit, you're not allowing the calories from alcohol to contribute to a surplus, and you are accounting for the fact that your metabolism will be impaired after drinking alcohol, so you're not eating huge high fat meals around the same time you're drinking alcohol. Because as your metabolism is impaired, it's more harder for you to predict exactly how much of your calories are being used effectively or not. So it's more harder to actually manage your metabolism in that instant. So if you're drinking a lot and drinking to high extents, then it's not going to be easy for you to manage. It's just not going to be a good situation. It's not going to be conducive to long-term weight loss, because it's just going to be a situation that's essentially not manageable. And the less manageable it is, the harder it is for you to sustain, for generally most people. So all in all, yes, you can lose weight and drink alcohol, as long as you're still in an energy deficit. But you've got to understand that alcohol does have an impact on your metabolism. And because of that, you've got to be in the know. You've got to know exactly what you need to do to change this. And you've got to know exactly how much you're drinking, because that's going to impact your results. You want to actually be able to account for this by being a modest drinker. You don't want to be a heavy drinker. Heavy drinking and weight loss, they just don't go together. It just doesn't work together, okay? It's like putting the wrong puzzle piece into the wrong puzzle. It just won't work effectively. And even if it does, it's not going to be saying that's the most ideal situation, because likely what's happening is maybe you're losing weight still, but you're missing out on all the nutrients and stuff that you otherwise would be getting if you were to cut your alcohol down and add more food in to compensate for those calories, proteins, carbs, and fats. In an upcoming video, I will go into exactly how you can actually track alcohol in MyFitnessPal, because I understand it's one thing knowing how alcohol, affects you. It's another thing knowing, how, whether you can actually drink alcohol and lose weight, but it's a whole other thing to actually know how you can not only manage your alcohol, but track it. So you make sure that you're on point with your calories, on point with your nutrition, and can still get those good results that you are out there to get. But I will end with giving you some suggestions about how you can start managing your alcohol intake right now, okay? When you walk away from this video, you'll be able to start managing your alcohol intake to make yourself more effective at losing weight by doing the following things. 1, don't binge drink. Simple. 2, try and only drink 1 or 2 days a week. By doing that, especially if you're not like someone who has a dependency on alcohol, you're going to be less likely to overcompensate your weekly calories. The third thing is don't eat high calorie foods around the same time you're drinking alcohol. For the same reason that I mentioned before, you're not going to be able to metabolize that food and digest it as effectively as possible. Your body's more likely to store it as fat mass, and your body's not going to be efficient at losing weight. So don't do that. 4, instead what you want to do, and I know this is not going to be a fun suggestion because no one wants to do this right before drinking, but having something with a high amount of protein and a high amount of fiber, like a salad with protein or something of that sort, can be a good thing to have before you go drinking. It's going to help slow down the absorption in the body from the alcohol. It's going to help blunt the effect of that. It's going to help stabilize things, and it's going to make it easier for you to manage overall. And you're not going to have all these bunch of calories in your body, ready to not be metabolized properly and ready to be instead stored more effectively and more efficiently as fat. So remember, that's all it comes down to. It's not that alcohol magically makes it that you store fat. It makes it easier for you to get into a surplus, plus it affects the way it's metabolized. In turn, that makes it harder for you to manage your calories, and therefore your body becomes more efficient at storing it. So therefore, if you're in a surplus or you're not managing your intake properly, next minute you realize you're gaining your weight more effectively and more quickly over time. And that's where the issue comes. The 5th thing is don't snack, okay? Avoid snacking where possible if you're a heavy drinker, or in the days when you're drinking, to be more specific. Snacking on very highly palatable, high energy foods can be a problem if you're drinking alcohol. And that's a big one. You got your wine and you got your nibblies and things like that, cheese and crackers, and you got all that. And I understand it. And I'm not saying you can't do that. You can do that. Just be mindful of the effect it might have. Be mindful of overall how much you're consuming. Be mindful of what you're doing the other time during the day or the other days of that week. And just be modest with your approach, okay? Don't do this all the time. And be in an understanding that if you do it a lot of times, it will affect your weight loss potential. So as long as you're happy to kind of, take that, and understand that that's the effect that might happen, then that's fine. At the end of the day, all this is just suggestions for you. But keep in mind that avoiding high calorie snacks around drinking times and on the same days could be an effective strategy if you're someone that wants to indulge in a bit of, alcohol here or there. And then the final thing is drink more water. Okay, drink water between drinks, drink water before you go drinking, drink water after. Alcohol dehydrates you. Also, if you drink water, you're less likely to over drink because you're more likely to be full from drinking the water in between drinks. Think about ways that you can modify your alcohol intake, and water is a fantastic way to do this. A lot of people don't drink enough water, so this is a good excuse for you to actually get your hydration up and be well hydrated, okay? You don't want to be not losing weight, drinking a lot of alcohol, and then getting dehydrated as well. So at least drink more water. That should help modify things and keep you in a more modest approach when it comes to alcohol. So hope that one helps. There you go. So I've gone through the what, the why, and the how of how you can manage your alcohol intake and your nutrition. So not only can you drink and enjoy your holiday, enjoy your wine tour, whatever it may be, but you can still get results doing it. You just got to be in energy deficit. You got to be mindful of how your alcohol impacts that. You got to track effectively, which will come in the later video, and you got to understand that calories still matter. And you can't be drinking, crazy amounts and still expect progression with your results, and still expect for maximal fat loss. Just doesn't work that way. You got to be modest with your approach. You got to drink mindfully, and you got to be understanding and aware of what you're actually consuming. That's what it comes down to. So I hope you now have a solid understanding of this. Hope this video has brought you immense value. Hope this answered your question, most importantly. If you do have any more questions about this or you want to discuss further, please leave a comment below. Otherwise, you can reach out for Instagram. The link is in the description below, and send me a DM there and I will get back to you. As always, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Tell your family and friends about me. Please share. Stay out of trouble. See you next time.